Welcome to Channel 17, the Town of Colonie Government Channel.
All right, well, welcome to Getting to Know You. My name is Joe Nash. Today we have two guests, two groups of guests. We have the Ten Broeck Mansion, spring and summer events, and also the Vanguard Showhouse here in Colonie, in Loudonville, their May events, month-long events. So we have from the Ten Broeck Mansion, Wendy Birch. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you for having me.
Your third time here. Why don't we start with, this show is going to start in early May, so we'll talk about a lot of your events in May and of some of your summer and most of your summer events. But I'll just mention quickly starting on May 12th. Well, before we start, why don't we mention the Ten Broeck Mansion? It's down on
It's at Ten Broeck Place down in Arbor Hill, about a block up from the Palace
and this
Theater.
is one of the most historical homes in our area.
Yep, built
probably
in
the country.
1798.
Okay. And it's the Van Rensselaers and the Ten Broecks and all those names we all know. So on May 12th, you're starting with a lecture called Why Did They Come Here? Thinking about your family and its historical context. Now, the speaker is Professor Robert Arnold. For those of you watching, if you came to we had a talk on the Civil War, which Professor Arnold came and did a couple of weeks ago, and I forgot when that was, but he was excellent. So if anyone watching was at that, we had a big crowd. And I don't know if do you know Professor Arnold?
I don't know him personally,
okay.
no.
So he's going to be talking about your family in its historical context in Albany. So, but now we'll get to the big event here, what we're talking about, what you're here mainly for, Wendy. You're having on May 15th, which is a Sunday, Living History Day down at the Ten Broeck Mansion. And you have here, I see a whole list of events. Why don't you just tell us about what the Living History Day is?
Basically, Living History Day is usually our big opening day, and typically we do it at the beginning of May. But because the whole state of New York is doing Heritage Weekend, May 14th and 15th, we moved the date to May 15th, which is a Sunday, from 12 to 4.
So there's events all over New York State for...
Yeah,
okay.
If you look, there's actually a website, and I can't remember the name of it now, but it's something under Heritage Weekend in New York, and a lot of the historic sites are doing special things, so people could come to our thing and everything around Albany and beyond. And I'll mention really quickly on the 14th, I know you're going to be talking to Barbara from Vanguard, we are doing a joint tour through the trolleys where you can come to the Ten Broeck Mansion and then go on to see the Vanguard Showhouse. So, and I'm sure she'll talk a little bit more about that as well. And then on the 15th is Living History Day, and as I said, that's our big opening day. We have a whole bunch of historical reenactors on the grounds, free tours of the mansion. The mansion's open. There are vendors, there's music, pony rides for the kids.
All right, so this is Sunday, May 15th from 12 to 4, and it's free.
Yep, and we've got some stuff for the adults too. The Homebrew Emporium will be there. They're going to show how they brew beer, one of the things. Abraham Lincoln is coming.
Are they going to do it just like they did back in the 17 or 1800s?
That's my understanding. Yeah, it's really similar to that. So
I'll talk about some of the events you're having, and then these events go on all day, and people can come down. It sounds like it's family friendly.
Yes, very family friendly.
So I'll just read some of the events, and maybe you can describe them a little bit. One thing here you're having is called seed planting with toast, and I'm not sure what that means.
The kids that go to the Thomas O'Brien Academy of Science and Technology.
All right, that's what toast is.
Yep, that's what toast is. They are going to be planting seedlings, kind of showing, and I think they're going to be selling them too, I believe. So the theme this year is celebrating our roots, and since we have such beautiful gardens at the Ten Broeck Mansion, we thought we'd sort of celebrate the gardens. So there'll be some gardening things, and then also the other side of that, there'll be genealogical roots. There'll be people there who can answer those kinds of questions. All right,
and then you already mentioned, but maybe you can talk a little bit more about this. You're having some in period dress.
Yep, we've got, as I mentioned a second ago, Abraham Lincoln is coming. The Dutch Settlers Society will be there, dressed in colonial type garb.
Will there be any military?
There will. We've got Civil War. We've got World War II reenactors that will be there. Revolutionary War. Blacksmith.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, one of the things on your list says an archaeology excavation. Now, what is that? There's always ongoing things there, right?
Sure, and we do an archaeology camp every year, and there'll be an archaeologist on hand to do sort of a sample excavation to...
So you can show people how an archaeologist does things.
Yep.
Oh, okay. And these things people can just walk around, go to different spots. Okay. And then obviously you have tours of the mansion and gardens. Now these events are all free.
Yep.
Usually you charge for a
That's
tour,
correct.
right? Okay, so this is a time to come down and get a free tour.
Yep.
All right, pony rides, I guess that's self-explanatory.
Yep.
And you have beer brewing, which you mentioned, and then we have sheep shearing. Now, what is? Now, I guess when the mansion was people were living in it, they have sheep right there on the ground.
I would think so. He's going to be shearing sheep sort of the old-fashioned way.
Okay.
So
no electric shearing.
That's my understanding. Yeah.
All right, and spinning and weaving.
Yep.
Blacksmithing. All right, antique cars.
Yep. I'm not sure exactly which
I know they didn't have cars back in
here,
the
so
1700s.
we'll have some. Yeah, we'll have some parked around. We celebrate all eras of history. So.
Okay, and then you mentioned there'll be someone there to answer questions about genealogy. Okay.
Yep.
And then the ringing of St. Joseph's bells.
Historic Albany Foundation owns St. Joseph's Church, and they've agreed to open it on that day too. So not only, and they're going to, I hope, ring the bells, but hopefully, also people would be able to walk about a block down the street and go through St. Joseph's.
That's the church that's closed, right?
Yes.
All right. Now, are there bells? Are they famous? Are they what? Why
they just got them working again recently, so they sound beautiful.
And then finally, you have some patriotic music from the Ash Show Choir and Rural. Oh, that's Ash Show Choir and then Rural Felicity. Who are these groups?
The Albany School for the Humanities has a show choir, and they've come and performed several times at the mansion for different events, so they'll be here. And Rural Felicity is a colonial era, Revolutionary War era music
all right.
band.
So, and they do music of that time, I'm guessing. Okay. So these events will be going on all day. On Sunday, May 15th from 12 to 4, all of the events are free, so it sounds like we have to hope for good weather.
Yep. And we do have parking on site. I know that's always kind of a concern in Albany, so we do have a parking lot.
Now, this is only one event on May 15th, but we can talk quickly so people know what's going on. You have events going all summer. So let's talk about, you have 3, and these are on Wednesdays, June 22nd, July 27th, and August 24th, you have Garden Talk and Tea. Now, what are these events?
This is something we've been doing for several years, where people can come, especially people interested in gardening. But even if you're not, really a gardener, I am not a gardener myself, and I find the talks very interesting.
Okay.
So, but oftentimes, that's the subject matter. You come and you hear a talk, usually in the gardens, and then afterwards it's followed by a very nice tea, which is really very sumptuous, and it's very reasonably priced. We charge generally $10, although I think one of them is $12, just because it's a talk about herbs, and she's actually providing the food to. She's going to cook with the herbs.
All right, I'll mention the 3 if you're interested in these. Garden Talk and Teas, the one on June 22nd, and these are on Wednesdays. They're all at 1 p.m. The June 22nd one, the talk is going to be about butterflies with Carol Margolis, the butterfly lady, it says here. And then we have the July 22nd Garden Talk and Tea, Savor the Flavor. This is the one you were just saying. She's going to be showing how to cook with herbs and bringing the herbs.
Right.
Okay. And then the August 24th Garden Talk and Tea, the renowned gardening expert Carrie Mendez is going to talk about tips to help your gardening. So, and all these have with tea. Okay. Very good. Finally, no, I'm sorry, we have 2 more events. You're having 2 concerts I see here.
Yep.
July 10th, a jazz concert. And on August 14th, Ernie Williams. We all know Ernie Williams. These are both on Sundays, right?
Yep, we moved our concerts to Sundays. People can come, and they're at around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and people can come and enjoy the gardens and enjoy some good music. So.
All right, well, that's good on Sundays in the summer.
Yes, and I should mention, too, that our summer events are not complete yet. We're working on several more lectures, and other than the garden talks and teas, which includes the tea after our lectures, are free.
The lectures are free, okay. So if you go to the Ten Broeck Mansion website over the summer, you'll see more events will be added. And finally, we have something here for kids. It's a archaeology field school. It's a week-long, I guess you could say a week-long school or whatever. Kids can learn about archaeology. Why don't you tell us a little bit about?
Yeah, basically they come in, they're taught by professional archaeologists. They learn about the science of archaeology, and then they go out and do an actual dig.
On the grounds of the mansion?
Well, last year we did it about a block. It's headquartered at the Ten Broeck Mansion, and that's where most of the instruction is. But when they actually do the dig, they go about a block up the street to the Stephen and Harriet Myers house, which they were well-known abolitionists, and it was a stop on the Underground Railroad. So we did that last year in partnership with the Underground Railroad History Project of the Capital Region, and we're planning on doing that again. The digging part will be up there.
The stop, the Underground Railroad stop is right on the same street as the mansion?
It's on Livingston Ave.
Okay, on Livingston.
Yep.
Okay. And this is it's a week-long class kids can take, 6th to 10th graders, and it does cost $250, but it sounds like it would be good experience.
It's a great program,
and what is it?
and the kids
What does
love
it go from? What time?
I think it starts at 8 in the morning and goes to 3 in the afternoon.
8 to 3, okay. Well, these are all the events coming up. I think I got everything. The main event being the, right, I have it here, Sunday, May 15th, Living History Day at the Ten Broeck Mansion. And also on that day, part of the trolley tour, you can go to the Ten Broeck Mansion and then go to the Vanguard Showhouse, which we're now going to talk about in 1 second. We'll be right back. Okay, well, welcome back. Now we're going to be talking about the Vanguard Showhouse. A few months ago, we were on with the owner of the house, and Barb Richer, who is the, I don't know, what is your title for this job?
For this job, it is, I'm chair of the show house and president of Vanguard.
Okay. So today we have Barb Richer, the chair of the Vanguard Showhouse, and one of the designers, her name is Mary Korzinski. The premise is, I guess they have 19 or 20 designers design a room, and then we talked about last time, the house was renovated, and then each designer, well, why don't you explain it, Barb, since you're the chair of the...
Well, it's our 31st show house, so every time you think you have a system going that you understand, there is a show house that challenges that, and this one has, in a very positive way, though. If you remember from the other interview, Nathaniel Betty and the Betty family purchased Prospect Place.
Yeah, I should say this is
Shepard's home.
This is on 10 Stafford Street up in Loudonville, right up near St. Pius.
Right near St. Pius Church. Parking for our event will be in St. Pius Church parking lot. Purchased the home, and last fall began a very massive renovation on the house, which is about 170 years old and comes from the federal period, and a lot of it was very federal period design. The renovation has been done with meticulous loving care, and the consequence of that wonderful loving care has been that it has gone on much longer than we had anticipated. Typically, our designers would come in on the 1st of March and have 2 months to really do their spaces, but we are still in a phase that I call dust and damask, because we have construction continuing while our designers are actually creating their spaces.
Right.
So,
well, I mean, we're filming this. You still have four more days, 4 or 5 more days.
we have 4 or 5 more days. We're going to be fine. I hold on to that reality every morning. I know we will be, and the rooms that are completed are amazing, and the ones that are underway are also quite astonishing. So well, we will be prepared this Sunday, the 1st of May, for our preview party, and then open to the general public on May 3rd, Tuesday.
Well, I should tell people watching, you can go to Vanguard Showhouse, vanguardshowhouse.org, and there's all kinds of pictures, both before and after. I mean, some of the ones are almost done, and then you can come. The show house is open. It's going to be open all during May. Oh, I should say also, all the proceeds go to help support Albany Symphony Orchestra.
Absolutely. Vanguard is a not-for-profit organization that was formed 44 years ago to support in any way we can the Albany Symphony Orchestra and all of their programs. They reach into school and do school programs, their regular symphony season, their special seasons. They'll be going this year to Carnegie Hall, and we're part of supporting that event through all the funds that Vanguard raises through a series of events during the year.
Okay, so all during May, the show house is going to be open Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday, 10:30 to 5. Wednesday, Thursday, and Sundays, 1:30 to 6:30.
No, I'm
Or wait a
sorry.
minute.
Wednesday and Thursday,
Oh, I'm sorry.
10:30 to 8.
You're right. Wednesday
Right.
and Thursday, 10:30 to 8, and then Sundays, 1:30 to 6:30.
Yes.
Yeah, I was reading that wrong there, sorry. Well, why don't we talk about, well, let's introduce one of the designers. We have one of the designers out of the, I think there was 19 or 20 designers.
Yes.
Mary Korzinski, the designer of the Great Room. What were you calling it?
Great Room.
The Great Room.
As I said, we call it the room at the
Okay.
top of the world.
Tell us about the Great Room, and then.
Well, it's the room formerly known as the attic.
Okay.
So I guess it was an attic for 140 years or so.
Probably.
When we saw it, it was quite something. It was missing its windows. It did not have walls. It was raw beams. There weren't actual holes in the ceiling, but it was darn close to having holes in the ceiling. So Nate did an amazing job bringing it back to being habitable to begin with. But then on top of it, it's just a tremendous space. We have 16-foot ceilings. The original access was through the maid's room. So it was darn spooky. You'd go up little back, scary staircase that was only accessed by probably very tiny Irish maids for many, many years. I think it was also loaded with trash. They also hauled quite a few dumpsters of trash out of it. But to see the transformation is just remarkable.
Now you're saying this room it's on the top.
It's at the
and
top
it has a
of the
16-foot ceiling?
16-foot
Oh my
ceiling.
God.
It's quite remarkable, and that's dropped down. They installed skylights. All the windows are new. There were no walls, so it was just beams.
All beams, all open beams.
So it all had to be insulated. It all had to be sheetrocked. There's wainscoting, but they kept the original floors, which are just remarkable.
Okay. All those big, wide
Big,
planks.
wide
Yes.
planks that they just stripped and polyed, and they're absolutely
Okay. Now,
breathtaking.
is
And
this,
they did keep actually the shape, the general shape
Yep.
of the room,
Yeah.
and many of the massive, massive beams that support the whole upper structure of the house are bare, they're there and they're wonderful.
now,
And
are all the rooms, when people go to the show, they can go to all the rooms? They're all open?
They
Okay.
can go to all the rooms. Again, to his credit, they actually access this area by putting in another staircase. There's a full staircase that's brand new. You would never
okay.
tell the way it's integrated into the original house.
And we should say too, and then Mary can speak to some of the design, because Nate was keen on having the house maintain much of its
And
federal
I'll just say,
integrity.
Nate's the owner of the house. just so
Right,
people- okay.
the Betty family, Nate Betty, was keen on having the house maintain as much of
Mm-hmm.
its federal style and integrity as it could, and was a given from the beginning when he first met with the designers
Mm-hmm.
and they discussed whether or not they wanted to be part of the project. It was with the understanding that, particularly on the main floor, that the federal integrity of the house would be maintained. But his exception was, as you worked up through the house, that his vision of this great room was of the Adirondacks, of the what you call
Well, the whole great camp period. They, as a family, have a camp. I believe it's in Lake Placid, and they've been very much inspired by it. My partner Patty and I, we're not truly Adirondack designers, or as much as there are designers who specialize in that, and it truly has not been our specialty. So we think we're bringing something a little different to it. We're doing Nate's rustic charm.
Well, it sounds like from what you told me before we started, you can almost see up to the Adirondacks. Tell us about the.
gorgeous.
Now, this is in
Or
the
New
middle
Jersey.
of. This house is in the middle of Loudonville, but tell us about the view from this great room.
View is incredible. Everyone who walks up, there are nooks, very traditional nooks from the dormers all around the room that have been made into seating, so that you can really sit and just revel in this.
You were telling me you can see the Helderbergs?
You can see the Helderbergs. You can see out over Central Avenue and all the way up to the mountains. It's
right.
beautiful during the day, but the few evenings we've been there, it's just remarkable looking out and watching the sun go down.
Right. I'll have to-
And from one side, too, into the formal gardens, because the whole landscape has been also renovated and is stunningly beautiful, the landscape of the house. And from one of the views out of the side windows, bank of windows by the window seat, is the whole formal gardens and pond and fountain.
Okay.
So it's quite lovely.
No, there's a pond there? I didn't.
They discovered in some of the cleaning of the grounds that there was not a pond as much as a fountain with a
Okay.
pool around it,
All
a fountain
right.
with a pool around it in the formal gardens that they have restored.
Okay, so now I should just mention where Mary is from. Custom Design Associates. Now, where are you located?
We are located in southern Saratoga.
Okay.
My partner Patty and I have an office on Central Avenue in Mechanicville. Patty Connors has been in business for many, many years. Her specialty is fabrics and window treatments. My specialty is paint and color.
I think if you go to the website, all the designers have their email, and some of them have their website links. You can go look at. I don't know. Is yours on there? Is yours?
We're on there.
Okay. I think most of them have.
Associates.
Most of them have a link to their business if you want to see more about their business. Now, if I remember from last time when you were here, Barb, and then Mary, you can speak to this. The designers, they all kind of walked through, and then you got to pick your room. Is that how it worked?
It's very exciting.
How did
It's like
you
the first day of school when you go in. This is like final exams, but
So
that
you
was
had
the
20
first
people,
day.
20 designers
More
walking
than
through?
that, you probably
we
had about
had-
70 this
Yeah,
year?
we had
Oh,
we had
okay.
a
I'm trying to
huge
remember how
number
it
of
worked.
designers
We're
come
very
through.
special.
All right, so how did you pick that room?
Well, Barbara flattered me into taking it because it really was kind of a challenge when you first saw it. As I said, the staircase, the access to it, you had to have some vision because there was no main staircase to the
Okay.
room. But Barbara is very, very persuasive and had a vision, and there was going to be a
Okay.
fabulous staircase,
And there is.
and there is, and it became a wonderful, wonderful space.
All right, so now, all during May for these events, if people want to go down there, I guess you should go to the website because there's so many dates and times, but Barb, we can talk about these. You have designer days where you can go and meet the designers. I don't know, are all of them going to be there on these days?
There are, for the most part, on designer days, they are in their spaces.
They're in their space, so
Right.
you'll be in the great room?
I'll be in the great room. We lurk in the corners, so
Okay,
you
so each
can
room
always
will
see
have
nice
its...
things.
So there's 3 designer days where you can meet the designers in their rooms on Sunday, May 8th, Friday, May 13th, and Thursday, May 19th. All the times are on the website. You can go there. Now, you also have seminars with the designers. Tell us what this is.
There's some wonderful seminars. In fact, there is a sheet. We call it our trifold, and it is in many places throughout the.
We have them in our.
Capital District.
We have these in our library. If
Right.
people want to come in, you can also print them off the website.
Exactly,
It
they're on the
describes
website.
everything. Okay.
The seminars, we have 2 with designers. One is on light and color, how to use light and color in your home,
Okay.
and one is on accessorizing your home. But there are also designer tours on different days, either in the morning or in the evening. So you can plan your trip on one of those days and have a tour guide
Okay.
be one of the designers. Or there are also Vanguard designers like
Okay.
myself who have worked on the house right along and will, for a group of 8 or more, provide
Okay,
tours.
so I didn't get to the designer. I was going to get to that
Oh,
one.
I'm sorry. I jumped
That's
the gun.
okay. So then, designer days, you can meet the designer in all the rooms. We have the seminars, and the light and color is Tuesday, May 10th at 2 p.m. Accessorizing your home is Thursday, May 12th at 2 p.m. Now the designer tours, all the designers are going to be there giving, or
No, we have, there are certain designers,
Okay.
it's all listed here, and they will be available on those mornings or evenings to
but not
take-
just for their room. They give you the whole.
Yes,
Oh,
they'll
okay.
go through the house.
And then you can also do this if you can't make it during the day. They're going to have evening designer tours. 3 of them. They start at 6 p.m. Thursday, May 5th, Thursday, May 12th, Wednesday, May 18th. Okay, now moving down the list here, we have the architect lecture and tour. Okay, what is?
Michael Feeney was hired by the Betty family and worked with them initially to determine what and how any changes would be made to the house and continue to maintain as much of the federal integrity as possible. And so he's very intimately involved in this process, and he's agreed to come back and do an architectural tour for folks that are interested in aspects of architecture. He would be pointing out things throughout the
So
house.
he won't just be standing there giving a lecture. You can walk around with him.
No, he would
Oh,
actually
that'd
be going through the
okay.
house.
And that's going to be on Saturday, May 14th at 1 p.m. Now, you also have gardening seminars.
We do.
We have 2 of them. Tell us what these are.
Jacqueline McClory is doing one on Thursday, May 5th, and Jackie is the landscape designer that has done all of the renovation on the outside of the home in terms of landscaping.
all the grounds.
All the
Okay.
grounds. So she will be showing films and discussing
Okay.
some of those decisions. And Judy Stacy is the Albany city gardener, and she'll be coming to talk about special gardening techniques.
I see. Well, it says here 263,000 tulips. What does that mean?
It means planting that many for the Tulip Festival.
All right.
And how that is done.
All right. There won't be 263,000.
We won't have that many in the yard, no.
But she's actually, she's going to actually explain how they do that every year.
Yes.
Well, that would actually be interesting. Because
Yes.
whenever I go down to the Tulip Festival, you're like,
how do they do all of this? And
Okay.
choosing the colors and the shapes. And
I know each year it's different, right? As they
Yes.
have a theme. And then finally, we have some seminars on history and historic preservation on Wednesday, May 4th at 6:30. Assemblyman Jack McEnany is going to be talking about, well, he's actually a historian. He's written many books.
yes,
So
I know.
he's gonna just-
We're very privileged and very proud to have him be a part of this. He will actually be at our ribbon cutting ceremony on May 1st.
Okay.
And he has agreed also to come and do this lecture. He did this historic lecture also for us on Manning Boulevard when we did an arts and crafts
Okay.
home there. And he's so wonderful and so articulate. So I'm hoping
Well,
folks will really.
he spoke here at the library once. He is a very, he's a very interesting guy. He's very into the history. I mean,
Yes.
like I say, he's written several books.
Yes.
And on Sunday, May 15th at 2 p.m., you're having someone that has also been at our library, Peter Hess. He's written many books about who were the people of Albany. Oh, I'm sorry, People of Albany, the first 200 years. He wrote the book about the Albany Rural Cemetery, the Civil War in the Rural Cemetery, and he's a wonderful speaker too, and I talked to him here, so that should be really good too.
It should be, and I believe one of his focuses is on the Townsend family who occupied the house for several years and did some of the architectural changes, and we believe one of those most major ones was the ironwork on the front of the
Okay.
house. So
Well-
he'll be addressing that.
Well, we have all Peter's books at the library, and they're set up. They're on different families, different events, so his books are very interesting too. So, and on the 14th, people can take the trolley tour and go to both the Ten Broeck Mansion and the show home.
We're so excited about that. It's just a wonderful, this is a day and age when a lot of us really want to partner and need to partner.
Mm-hmm.
The economic times really demand that we reach out to each other in any way that we can connect. And this just seemed like a natural, exciting way to do it with the trolley tour, which are so wonderful and in-depth on the history of Albany, in this wonderful trolley, to be able to go to the Ten Broeck Mansion and see that piece of history. And Mr. Ten Broeck actually named it Prospect Place at one time
Oh, he
himself.
named
So
the
I
show
believe he
house.
called his own house Prospect
Okay.
Place. And Mr. Shepard, who built our house originally, called his home Prospect Place.
Okay.
These were, at least in our case, it was a summer home. This was just a summer home. He was a man that worked in Albany, but came all the way out to the country in what is now Loudonville.
all the way out.
Summer home, right. And Prospect Place seems to be a name that was popular with folks of that time.
Okay, and I think sometimes people forget how historic the Capital District is.
Oh.
I mean, not just Albany and Loudonville, but the Capital District itself is very.
Could I mention two things,
Sure.
too? We have this year a wonderful history display. One of our members, Ruth Cook, has spent a good deal of the last several months doing a history of this house, of our Prospect Place in Loudonville. And that history will be on display in the history display area in the
Okay.
carriage house. We are also offering this year a free gift pass with any paid admission, which will allow you to come back to all of these, any or all of the seminars, the tours, the.
So if you get an admission, you get a ticket to come back to these other events that I just
Yes,
talked
you
about.
actually you don't re-enter the house again. So the house tours you wouldn't get to come back to a second in the house tour, but all of our seminars
Okay.
that take place in the carriage house, everything, Jack
All right.
McEnany.
I mean, in other words, if you went and take a tour on a Tuesday, you can come back on one of these.
And come back all through the course
Through
of the
one of
3
these
weeks
events.
and
Oh,
attend
okay.
all of the rest of the
Now,
seminars.
I also see admission is $18, but it is for a good cause, and there will be some coupons in the Times Union, you were telling me?
Yes, there was actually one in yesterday's paper, I was told, only available in the Times Union.
In the Sunday Times Union, the 24th, and it's for the whole month. You can use it.
Yes, and
what
there
is
will
it?
be at least 4 other coupons offered through the Times
And
Union during the course of time.
It's a discount for.
Yes, it brings the price down to $13.
Okay,
I think it's $5
That's a
off.
good deal. And you can also, I see this on here, if you want to, between Tuesdays and Fridays, if you want to go take a tour and stay there for a while, you can have lunch at the. Tell us about this.
Prospect Place Cafe, which is also located in the Carriage House, and we've been doing this for several years. The phone number is 872-9883.
You have to have reservations.
You do have to have reservations. You would need to call ahead, and you'll have a choice. Old Daily Inn caters the lunch, and you'll have a choice of 2 meals. But if you'll call that number and make a reservation, if you find one
there's
of these...
There's like 2 sittings, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
And if you have one of these or come to the library and get one of these, then you can plan your day where you would be able to come to the show house, have lunch, and have a seminar.
Okay, so you can either have lunch at 11:30 or at 1, and then go into the house or do what you want to do.
I should mention, too, that everything, or virtually everything, 95% of what's in the house will be for sale, as well as we have a boutique also with amazing vendors from all throughout the Capital District that have things for sale. They are...
you mean like the furniture and stuff will be for sale?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and during the course of the time Show House is open, there is no sales tax.
All right.
So you actually get very nice pricing and no sales tax.
Okay.
And all of those funds then go to the Albany Symphony.
Now, at the end, I think I can remember now from last time, is the house going to be sold? Is it for sale?
This house is on the market to be sold, yes.
Really? And then do the proceeds go to the Albany Symphony?
Don't we wish? Wouldn't that be nice?
Well, it sounds like you will be making a lot of, every year you do pretty well with this event, right?
We hope to. We hope to do well every year. We've had some very wonderful years, and lately, to be very honest, with the economy being what it is, it's been not as well as it has been. So we are always looking to improve, and we're always looking to change things if we need to. And we took a chance with this house because there was an enormous amount of renovation that was going to be done. But I really think that this is a house that will speak to so many people in the community. It's such an exciting house, and it's a piece of history. So we're hoping.
Well, I think you were telling me earlier, when you do the show house every year, you don't usually renovate a house. Isn't it usually a new house, more or less?
It's oftentimes been a new house, but or it's been a house that's already been renovated,
but
not to this extent of renovation. We have done them in the distant past, but this is the first home in the recent years that has been this amount of renovation to a house.
So now I got to just mention this because it's on here. You cannot, if you're going to take a tour, this says no cameras. Children under 10 discouraged, and no spiked heels. I don't know.
I think the most important thing to remember on there is no spike heels.
Yes.
There is always an issue of cameras, but we have had children, and and we can accommodate that. But spike heels, these are beautiful wooden floors, and spike heels can really do a number on them.
Now it does say no cameras, but if people want to see pictures, you can go to the website. Or maybe you could hold up the May issue of Life at Home, which a lot of people get from the Times Union. I think it comes in the mail.
And it's also available at other outlets.
I think, we get these at the library. But the Life at Home May issue has all kinds of pictures. There's a little spread in there of the house here.
Berkshire Living also will have some pictures. And, we're expecting the Times Union to be in today, or not today, but sometime this week. Okay. So look for pictures there as well.
All right,
and the website.
And the website, it's vanguardshowhouse.org. I know we sort of ran through a lot of these events and times, but if you go there, you can. And we have these flyers. We have tons of these at the library to come in and get. So that's May 3rd through the 22nd, the Vanguard Showhouse. All proceeds go to Albany Symphony Orchestra. So Barb, thanks for coming back, and Mary, one of the designers, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
And we hope to see you out at the Vanguard Showhouse. We'll see you next time on Getting to Know You.